to win just $1 million and then find out it's not what you needed anyway.
Yeah.
Have you ever hoped to never find yourself in trouble? And then you find out that things just happen anyway. So breathe, stop focusing on selfish needs. Breathe and quit shaking all the leaves off trees. Breathe, turn a smile without anxiety. We gotta breathe. Been so upset your mouth stopped dead in its tracks. But in hindsight you knew just exactly what to say.
Yeah.
Next in line, but the server just forgot your order. No need to frown because they comped it anyway. So breathe and quit focusing on selfish needs. Breathe and quit shaking all the leaves off trees. Breathe, turn a smile without anxiety.
Thank you very, very much. We have an eclectic church that's in transition, remains in transition. As you know, we're moving downtown in a couple of years, about the same year as the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre. We'll be facing actually Greenwood Street, the exact place, same year that is recognized in our city. We will open our doors to a brand new multi-million-dollar facility downtown. We have a visionary here that's off the chain. He's a thinker. We think he's going to turn out to be something. He's a Bostonian, came down here, studied, very well trained, well educated, well traveled, adventurer, climbs mountains, fords valleys, and he's a curious dude. That's what makes us. He'd get bored if we didn't do something. I was bored for many years in ministry, and that's why I ended up here. I'm in the city of my prime and of my crime. But I'm happy. I see my friend William Tisdale. He was my campaign manager when I ran for mayor. That's a powerful teacher, a brilliant thinker, sitting next to his mother-in-law, the inimitable Senator, Dr. Horner, who is the founder of the... Stand up, both of you. Stand up. Give him a great big God bless you. Dr. Horner. Outstanding. 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 We love you so much, and we're very, very grateful for you. In the next few minutes, what I'm going to do is just kind of go through, this came to me in the last service, the songs that we sang this morning, because that really reflects the whole idea, and this is the end of the theme, transition or transcendence for the month of April. The next month we go into justice. I like the themes. We have a theme every month here at All Souls, and it really is becoming more and more all souls. Look around. All souls. That's the way it ought to be, right? In fact, while we're at it, turn to the person near you and say, I'm glad that you don't look like me. Tell them. Say, and while we're on the subject, I'm glad I don't look like you. We love the diversity, we love the splendor, we love the beauty, the unity, and universal, in my opinion. It means one verse, one verse version or versification of the whole. And we appreciate every one of you as you are, unaudited, unedited. Just you. Not impersonating anybody else, not an imposter, becoming in touch with your true, honest, authentic. The word authentic comes from the idea of authorized or authorship, original, the genuine or genetic you, the one that was generated or had your genesis in some pre-incarnate reality that sponsored and spawned your presence on this planet or on this planet, this plane of consciousness, which is amazing. Conscience is with knowledge. Science means knowledge. Scientia, conscientia in Latin, with knowledge, not just belief. You knew first, forgot what you knew, and started believing. That's what got us in trouble. The ancients, shaman and spiritualists, the medicine men, those who were the eccentrics, said they agree on this one point. We're all here because we know something. The problem is we forgot what we know. Between the womb and the tomb, we experience some kind of spiritual amnesia. But in this new age of consciousness, enlightenment, Aquarius, there's a quickening, there's a kind of deja vu. And it hit me not long ago when I was lamenting over some of the shifts and transitions that I've been through. I've been through some shifts in my life. Turn to somebody and say, shift happens, it really do. And most of you know that about 15 years ago, my shift hit the fan, and holy shift, it shifted my whole life. I get to cuss over here as much as I did. I couldn't cuss at home. But I'm appreciating at 65 years old, I'm happier and healthier and more ambitious than I've ever been in my life. I've never been more curious, never been more adventurous. But under pressure, a diamond is nothing but a rock that did well under pressure. That's one of the songs we started with today. Under pressure, I call this, some of you know that life is basically a sexually transmitted disease. Or dis-ease. Your mama and them were intimate, even if they weren't married and you didn't know one of them. You're still here, and there's a reason why you're here. Disease means dis-ease. The original English reference is dis-ease or tension, stress, stretch, anxiety. We all feel it. And we spend our lives trying to treat it. We know it's incurable, this disease we call life, because we all go through the transition we call death. But we try to treat it. It's not curable, but it's treatable. Yes. We're in treatment this morning. That's why you're here. You came to get your weekly treatment or your weekly therapy. This is group therapy. The Greek rendering of the word healing in the New Testament is not iomai, which means cure. That's not used very often, even in reference to Jesus. It's the word therapeuo, which we get the English word therapy, to be attended to. We attend to the menial, repetitious needs of human beings being human. And that's okay. It's sort of a death process. We're all going to that other realm, that other dimension. We don't know with any precision what it is. We don't know where we came from. We're not sure where we're going, except we imagine there was something before, if not something after this one. So as you've heard me say before, when somebody asks you, how are you doing? They're basically asking you, how are you dying? Turn to someone and say, how are you dying today? And you might say, I'm dying pretty good. Or you might say, I ain't dying so good today. I got a pain. Because you're going through that constant evolution. Every 29 days, you have new skin. You have cells that are constantly, if the light angle is right in this building, you could see this room is full of dust. 90% of the dust, they tell us, that you find in your home is human skin. Yeah, but that's it. Because you're constantly shifting. You're constantly changing. You're constantly evolving. In the morning, those of us of the darker hue can see on them elbows, them heels and things, you can see the dying process. You white folks got it too. Y'all the same color as the death. So you... Excuse me, I couldn't resist that. That came up. I don't know where that came from. Up out of my spirit. What we do is most of us get lotion and we cover it. You don't really cover it. You clog the arteries or you clog the pores. It's better to have an exfoliant to scrape that. Oh, that's what we get when we come here. That's what I feel. There's kind of an exfoliant. It clears out the pores and you can breathe more eloquently. And more elegantly, you go way down. Breath, one of the songs she wrote, pneuma is the Greek word for breath. Pneumonia or pneumon, lung. Pneumatic. Jesus gave up the ghost, the geist, the breath. They talk a lot about the blood, but it was really the breath that he gave up. Crucifixion, asphyxiation on a cross, which is the Latin word for cruz, or cruz is the Latin word for cross. Asphyxiation, he strangled not so much because God wanted him dead, but because people didn't understand life and death or God, and we use death in ways we shouldn't. We kill each other because we're confused and we're frightened. When we recognize that we may have, and this is only by conjecture I say, what if we all agreed to come here but forgot it? We came here knowing, and then we went through the amnesia. And in that amnesia we panic and we contest and protest and we get frightened and we start acting out fear or out of fear rather than out of knowing. Once you know, see, faith is for people who doubt. Faith is for people who don't know. I use it, but I don't need it once I know. I don't need anybody to convince me or convict me of what I know. What I know. My cells know. My soul knows. I had a conversation with a cardiologist last week in Sacramento, brilliant young doctor, and he sat with me for hours at dinner, and he was telling me that your cells actually are intelligent. Your cells know something. Your cells have a mind. Your cells have a memory. You're constantly in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. The faster it goes, it creates matter. The immaterial is that which is not going as fast. We're not just human beings looking for spiritual experiences. We are spirit having an earthly encounter. We have a mind, we have a body, but we are spirit. We are essence. When I say essence, I mean your permanent rather than your accidental self. You're immortal, immeasurable, immutable, immediate self, the right now you that's always now. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is mystery. All we have is now. That's why they call it the present. You're in the present. Turn to somebody and say, I'm here right now, and oh, I got it. Oh, my. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be me. At 65 years old, I'm more comfortable about being me than I've ever been in my life. I'm not impersonating anybody. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just me. That may be one of the number one freedoms when we spend our lives impersonating who we think people want us to be, starting with mom and them. Turn to someone and say, how you dying this morning? Trying to find our space. We have coping mechanisms dealing with this pressure, this dis-ease, this tension, this anxiety, this stretch and this strain to be human. I'm learning more how to relax and release and be comfortable and comforted by me, not needing outside sources to comfort me. But discovering the divinity that I am. If we are made in the image and likeness of God, what would that be except creativeness or creativity? You and I are empowered to create our reality. You are prophetic, not pathetic. You're prophetic. You prophesied that you would be here today, and that's why you're here. You prophesied it last night. You prophesied and decided what you would wear, even though you shouldn't. Some of you shouldn't have wore that. You just shouldn't. And you're prophesying what you're going to do when we get finished in a couple minutes. What are you going to do this afternoon? What you're going to do tomorrow? And you're going to do it. Think of the many things you intended to do, and you're doing it. You said you were going to do it, and you're doing it. You're prophetic. You're powerful. You created that in a thought. Thoughts are creative. They're inventive. They're powerful. What you think about, you bring about. You don't just feel, you think about what you feel. The universe doesn't just judge you by what you feel, but what you think about what you feel, and what you think about what you think about what you feel, and then what you think about that. Turn to somebody one more time and say, how you dying this morning? I'm dying pretty good today. So under that pressure, then we decide that God is one of us. What if God is all of us? What if God expresses itself to, through, and as us? When I look at you, I'm looking at divinity. I'm looking at an amazing, creative, powerful entity. You're constantly shifting and changing and evolving. And I respect you differently because I know you have the power to predict, to forecast. To predict is to say in advance what you want, the power of the tongue. Think of how powerful you are. Your thoughts, your beliefs, what you know, what you say, what you do. I don't necessarily believe in right and wrong as I believe in decisions and actions with consequences, a sequence or sequel to everything you do. It's not that the universe, that God is judging you right or wrong. It's just you ate too much sugar or too much salt or you didn't rest like you should or you drank too much communion. The Bible said take a little wine for your stomach's sake. Be not filled with wine where it is in excess, but be filled with the Spirit. So we are constantly in motivation, and I believe that God expresses itself to you in a number one way, and it's not just love, because sometimes love can be a sloppy term, a little raggedy. I like the term compassion. I believe that love is pure, and I believe it's wonderful when it is that way. But nobody can hurt you, hinder you, or hate you like somebody you love. Talk to me, somebody. Or who loves you. It hurts worse when you love that person because you feel a certain entitlement to peace. So I like to use the word compassion, which means to I feel your pathos, your pain. I identify you in pain. A lot of folks say they love you, but they don't pay any attention to your pain. They won't do a thing about it. They let you hurt. I teach my children when you see panhandlers. My daughter and I were together in New York this weekend, and we're walking down the street in New York, and of course you're going to meet several. I always keep some cash handy for panhandlers, and when I'm so motivated, I give them something. But I say to my children, always make eye contact. Don't just drop something in the can or the bag or in their hand, because when you make eye contact, you acknowledge the dignity of their humanity, of their personhood. And I always say, yes, sir, thank you, ma'am, or thank you, sir. They always say, God bless you. Almost every time they say, God bless you, and I say, he just blessed you. But I like to make contact because, and then I said to my son, once you've heard me tell the story, we lived in a place in Chicago where there was a Walgreens, and the same guy sat out there every day. So we were giving him something fairly regularly. I said, now, I'm not going to tell you when, son, but at some point, I want you to stop, have a conversation with the gentleman, find out what his name is, where he lives. Has he ever been married? Does he have children? Did he serve in the armed force? Just find out who he was. And at about the second or third time, Julian sat right down with the man. They engaged in a very hearty conversation. And he told me what the man was. He had been divorced, where he once lived. He had been educated, but he fell on hard times. He was very bright, very intelligent, very forceful. It changed my son's life. And it really changed my life to get to know who I'm dealing with. Eventually, they moved him away. But everybody counts. Say it, please. Turn to the person next to you and say, you count. You're special. You're in transcendence now. Transcendence simply means to go through, over, or past something. We're all doing that. That's what that doing, dying process is. We're all constantly dancing around trying to transcend some issue that seems uncomfortable, almost unmanageable. You do it in every relationship you're involved in. You do it on the job. You do it at the dining room table, at the breakfast nook, wherever you go, just driving down the highway or down the freeway or in the intersections. You're constantly shifting, constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly expanding. You are alive. You are in motion, and you are seizing the moment and the momentum of your life. And you begin to smile through that and say, I got this. I got it. I can do it because I am it. My God, nobody can stop you when you get in that. That's not arrogance, that's confidence. Confidence. And then breathe. I told you, pneuma, pneumatic, pneumon, lung. The word pneumonia comes from that. Pneuma in Greek, to breathe. Inhale, exhale. We come here through our mother's womb, our dad's seed. We swim the first 9 months of our lives. You little fish face. You came here swimming. You had gills. And when you come out of your mother's womb, science tells us we're 80% water, moisture, 100,000 miles of arteries, most of them microscopic, in a full-grown adult. That's blood and salt water vamping through your veins, coursing through your veins constantly. You've had, those of you who've never done it, put your hands to your forehead, to your ear, and just press, both ears. Come on, please, press. You hear that little hum? That's the sound of that blood moving through your veins. Sounds like sea waves, doesn't it? That hum, that rum, is this. That means you're alive. If you ever put your hands up there and you don't hear nothing, you dead, you dead. You are so alive, you're so in motion, you're in constant motion, commotion, devotion, emotion. It never stops. Psychologists tell us that 1 out of 5 people are mentally ill. Count 5 people down the road. 1. Now count behind you 5, count in front of you. And if those same people count, you're gonna be the 5th one. We're all going through constant mental pressure, and we're constant manipulation. It's part of life. It's part of matter. It's part of meter. It's part of us. And I salute it. I celebrate it. I'm not apologetic about being me anymore. I used to most of my life. I felt I had this victim consciousness because the religion that I was born in has a victim consciousness. God's a victim. I'm a victim. Jesus is a victim. The devil is a victim. All of them after you. We actually needed Jesus to protect us from God. Do we need Jesus to protect us from God? Because God's angry and vicious, he's out to get us. When I was a little boy, they said, boy, God gonna get you. You better quit that. God's gonna get you. And somebody else, the next one said, the devil gonna get you, son. The devil he'll get you. And I thought, both of them after me, God and the devil. And my only salvation, I had to find Jesus. Help me, save me from both of these. Both of them out to get me. One gonna send me to hell, and the other one gonna supervise hell. Can you believe we believed all that stuff all these years? That's why 1 out of 5 people is crazy. And then this quest for life, searching, that's one of the songs you wrote. I wish I had the lyrics in front of me. Searching, we're all on a quest, an inquest, a request, a conquest, a question. How can you quest God and not question God? God's big enough to handle your questions. Searching, looking. That's why I love the word yes. No is so boring. See, who you aren't is not interesting. Only who you are is. No is boring, but yes is curious. Yes is searching, looking, studying, investigating, interrogating, excavating, uncover, dig down inside you into your soul, which carries the syllabus of your life. The syllabus is the life cause and life course. If you don't go within, you'll go without. Go in and find out who you are. Dr. Lavenhar can't tell you who you are. Bishop Pearson can tell you who you are. No teacher, preacher, prophet. The Reverend Gerald can't tell. Only your soul has a voice and your cell has memories. Get into you and listen to the God, the divinity that you are, bridging itself to the humanity that you're becoming. And it's all right. It's all, give somebody a high five and say, it's all right, I got this. When I finish, which is just about now, I know you don't want me to stop, but I gotta stop. In my dreams. Branjae's gonna sing Everybody Needs, and finally, I'm coming out. I want the world to know I'm. Everybody got some closet to hide in. Most of you hide from who you are. You're afraid for somebody to really know who you are. Look at me as I tell you this. You are incredible. You're amazing. You're so fantastic. I'm not just being complimentary. I'm identifying what I know in my spirit. I'm looking at a room full of deities. Brilliant, yes, creative, powerful deities. And you already know that, even if I didn't say it. You don't believe it. Most of us don't believe we're fantastic, but you know you are, because if somebody says the opposite, your nostrils flare. Get the bad in my eyes. What you mean? But if somebody says you're fantastic, you're awesome, you go, oh, you don't, that's... But if I say you're stupid and ugly and you don't belong here, you ready to kill, cut somebody, I'm gonna have to cut somebody. So agree with your soul and agree with yourself. That is the most transcendent thing you can do. You have crossed through and over and beyond who they thought you were or wanted you to be. And you just said yes to you. And I say yes to you, and I salute you. We love you. We believe in you. All of our best is yet to come. Peace and love to all of you.
Can we get a snap going? Yay, I like snap. Dream a dream of equality, and dream a dream of faith. Believe in the good in humanity, 'cause we can't escape. We can't escape. Everybody wants someone to love. Love somebody, yeah, yeah. Everybody wants someone to touch. Hug somebody. Hug somebody, yeah. Hug somebody. Oh. Hug somebody. Yeah. Keep in mind perspective's real and fear cut sharp like a knife. Hold on to the ride, 'cause we about to turn up in this fight. When we're challenged for rights, remember the bottom line, and beneath it all, everybody wants someone to love. Everybody. Love somebody, everybody wants someone to touch. Hug somebody, hug somebody, hug somebody. Oh, oh, oh. Everybody wants someone to love. Oh, love somebody. Everybody wants someone to touch. Hug somebody. Hug somebody. Hug somebody.
Hey, we're so happy you're visiting with us online today. We love connecting with people all across the country and around the world, sharing our powerful message of love beyond belief.
There's something new happening here. You can now join All Souls as a virtual member. Our virtual membership is designed for friends who live outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and who want to engage with All Souls in a meaningful way.
You can be part of an expanding family, a global family really, wherever you are. If you live in Oklahoma,
Ohio,
or Orange County, California,
Canada,
or Cameroon. By becoming a virtual member, you'll be able to deepen your connections with members and friends here in Tulsa and with members wherever you are.
Each week, you'll receive special All Souls content tailored for you, our virtual members. Virtual members have access to pastoral care, to personal prayers, and also receive invitations to exclusive web events.
You can learn more, and if you're ready, you can become a virtual member today by visiting allsoulschurch.org/virtual membership.
We're grateful our ministries are having a positive impact on your life, and we want to share the good news of love beyond belief with more and more people. So no matter what, we need your support to keep this ministry growing and thriving, so please consider making a gift today. You can do so by texting
LOVEBB for Love Beyond Belief to 73256, or simply visit our website. You are a blessing in our lives. May you be blessed
and be a blessing.